Hey guys, it's Steven. Got a Bytes chart update for you here. We left off at the end of the 19th here. This was a Thursday night. And since then, we've gone down and tested support here. So when we left off, the price was about at 250-ish. So we're about there right now. And you can see that the previously we did test this first weekly support, the S1 at about $2. And then since then we have came down and tested the price several more times. And it did find support, and now we are starting to look pretty bullish here. So overall, the Bitcoin and Ethereum market's starting to stabilize. So I would say that's setting up pretty good. And so for this week, just taking the highs, the lows, and the close, we can extrapolate this week's pivot chart. And we have the first support at $1.70 here. So what's interesting about that number in particular is that this would actually put us at a market cap below $1 million. So you can see here right now our market cap is 1.3 million. So, if we come down and test this $1.70, that would be a pretty good buying opportunity. I mean, anything under $1 million market cap seems like it would have a lot of upside potential. So, even if it's just a potential just to get back to $2, like that's still a pretty a decent investment and high risk. I mean, low risk, high reward. So I would love to see that. And not only that, if we do come down to this, that market cap, we're not even taking into account all the burning mechanisms that are going to be coming into play. So yeah, would be really happy to do that, and definitely would love to see that again, to be able to scoop up some more cheap bites. So as of right now, we are moving towards the central pivot. So I like to think of the central pivot as like a magnet, something that the price likes to move towards. So 250 is definitely a good number. We've seen that over the past couple of weeks, just kind of move above and below that. So certainly has been acting as a pivot. So the question is, are we going to see some more resistance here, or are we going to have this be our support? So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. And just to show you the resistance for this week, we have 320, and we'll just go ahead and check the other 320, 405, and then all the way up to 490, which is basically like $5. So we'll see what happens. And overall, only thing that really matters is are we going to get a catalyst, some news event that's going to move the price? That's what we're really looking for, right? These pivots don't really predict anything. They just kind of give us measurements and a kind of risk reward calculations that we can use. So we'll see how that plays out. And another important factor is looking at the Bytes to Ethereum chart, and looking at the liquidity pool. So looking at like where all the liquidity is, and this will play a role in where the support and resistance is. So from last video on the 19th here, I was talking about basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to close this higher position. I made my fees, and I just had some fees just kind of waiting there to be collected. So I went ahead and closed that. And what I did do is I went ahead and created, over the last couple of days here, I created 2 new positions, and really, really aggressive here. Get kind of betting that we're going to be sideways here for a little bit. So maybe a little bit of a hedge on the fact that I'm earning bytes. So went ahead and pulled my bytes again in this range, and I also created a very concentrated liquidity pool range here that will act as support. So if you see here, 1.5 ETH here locked up, and you can see the effects of that on the chart. So when this was created, what happens is, because all this liquidity is concentrated here, it'll allow for larger trades to come through without moving the price as much. And that's basically what we saw here, where we could have all these trades kind of come through and it's not really moving the price as much. And then what just happened is we had a large enough buy that accumulated all of the bytes that were in the liquidity pool, and it moved it up significantly. And now we're back into this kind of high slippage, only 0.15, 0.2 ETH zone here. So a few things I noticed is there's definitely been a reduction in the amount of bytes in the liquidity pool, which will add to the upside pressure if we do get some buys. You can see, 1,000 bytes removed here. So, that was, I'm pretty sure that was allocated somewhere in this range here. So, yeah, we'll see how this is playing out. So, for me, this is definitely a risky play because we have Bytes 2.0 coming up within the next week or here or so, and who knows exactly how that will affect the price of Bytes. Maybe it'll be bullish, maybe it'll be bearish. So yeah, we're really interested to see, and hopefully I can start to get some more fees here if we start to get some more sell pressure. So just to check in on that. So this was the most recent liquidity pool I created. What you'll notice is the APR is relatively low, and that is because of impermanent loss. So if you read through this here, you'll see it calculates the deposits, withdrawals, divergence loss, gas costs, staking rewards, all that stuff. So when you look at the fee APR, it's at 1,100. So what would happen is if this APR was at over 1,000 just a few hours ago, and because the price moved out of the range, my actual return has gone down because I lost my upside to Bytes. So I'm basically at break even now. So if you look at the amount of fees, I've made $240 in fees over the past couple of days here, and it shows how much I lost just based on the fact that I pooled those tokens. So pretty cool tool here to really get some information on how your LP is performing, and what could be used better. And then moving on to the other one I created about 4 days ago now. This is actually below my liquidity range. If you look at the price, it's at 0.13, and my liquidity is from 0.13 to 0.14. So this also has been doing, pretty decent. I'm happy with, with this overall. I didn't really put too much money in here, and it really hasn't spent that much time in range. So I do expect to see over the next week to definitely be getting some action, whether we break through and move to here. I am expecting, let's just check in here. Yeah, so the assets pooled value is at 8,000. We'll see how this plays out, but I do expect this to go up significantly, whether all my bytes are just distributed and I take my profit and my fees and I can reshuffle my strategy then, or we just go sideways and I gain some fees. So just looking for that. And this is my oldest position open right now. It's at 20 days, and APRs, just fine because it's been open for longer. It's been able to accumulate more fees. And let's see here. Yes, over 700. So, nothing too crazy. It really hasn't been in the range for too long here. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and move on to the blood token. So, market cap down to 12 million. So about 10x what the Bytes liquidity, market cap is. So previous video I talked about if I were to chart this out, where would the pivot points be? The daily pivot would have been at 409, and then we had three different levels of support. You had 363 would have been the first pivot, and that just had nothing to it. And then the second pivot would have been 334, and did see some support and some buying action come in at this 334, but now we've actually kind of broken down below. So the support below this one would be 288. So right now, I don't have the liquidity to buy this token, but maybe Bytes has a breakout and this moves down, and I'll have some ETH, or I'll free up some liquidity some other way. I'd love to buy down here if I could buy at 288 and then have kind of like a move back to 40. That's like a 30. I think I can make a 30 to 50% gain, something kind of similar to this move that we had back here. So definitely going to keep an eye on that. And I'm sure if I were to look at the liquidity pool here, there's just not much going on as far as opportunity. Let's see here. It's just going to be, it's just the same flat out curve. You'll see 9 days since somebody added some liquidity here. So yeah, really not much opportunity there. So just to finish up on the overall macro markets here. So yeah, like I said, we left off on the 19th, and I am starting to kind of trade this pivot. So I like to call this is definitely this 29,700 on Bitcoin has been very magnetic. So, as we move above, it moves back below. As we move back below, it moves above. So for me, I've been able to trade this pretty well. And this is kind of setting up overall with the overall macro market started to really bottom, So my view is that we kind of had this fear trade last week. And for me, when I see fear in the market, like last Friday, I did buy the dip very hard. I felt like there was a lot of opportunity to make some money there, and it worked out well. But now after markets, we start to see some really, really bad earnings and stuff, and that's definitely brought the market down a bit here. So we'll see how it plays out tomorrow on Tuesday. Timing is definitely a very important thing for me. So, we had a lot of risk on a Friday, but it was kind of worth taking the risk. So Monday can be just basically an even day. And then for Tuesdays, I like to see in a bull market turnaround Tuesdays. So maybe we'll have just a small gap down and that gets bought up. Personally, right now, I don't really think it's really worth the risk going long the markets right now. I'm just going to kind of let it play out a bit. And if I see anything in particular, I'll just tweet it out. But yeah, we'll see how that plays. And I think there's a little bit more opportunity in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's the longs that I'm playing. So I am trying to trade this where, buying and then having like a stop loss at the low here. And this just seeing if we can get just another move to the upside. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for with Ethereum. Now, I have been using this 2000 number as kind of my pivot, but the more I think about it, it really should be probably like 1980. So I'm just going to change that right now and just use this pivot from now on. I just feel like it's a better number because if you can buy this, it gives an easy move back to 2000 is the way I'm looking at it. Like we just saw here, 1980 to 2000. If you're taking this trade, you can put it on stop losses and stuff like that. So, that's my favorite thing to do is to make trades that, turn profitable. So like we did here on the 19th, we had this opportunity to buy, we can move the stop losses higher as it moves higher and then take profit. And same thing happened here. You had this kind of opportunity to take the buy and just keep the stop loss right here, move higher. And, that's what I did. And then, you also had the opportunity to short. So I was able to do that too, take profits, short back to the pivot, and then just kind of rinse, repeat. So it's been kind of simple trading, and I don't want to trade too much, but just sometimes it's just setting up so well that I love this risk reward of taking the buy here, setting the stop loss low, and then just having this potential for this upside move. So we'll keep you updated on that and the overall market. So, is there going to be more fear in the market where people will rush back into bonds? So, as we see the bond prices go up, maybe more fear in the market. Starting to see money moving out of the dollar, which is bullish for stocks and crypto. So, yeah, so I'm just going to end it here. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will catch you later.